All right. Ready?
Ready.
All right, folks. Welcome to this one time. Today I'm joined by a very good friend of mine. He, at the moment, does a lot of DJing gigs. You say it's primarily your gig.
That's it.
Yeah. Used to do Amazon selling. Used to be in the Navy. Used to work at freaking bars and venues.
I had 87 to 89 jobs before I became a DJ. So
Pull that up closer to you. And one of the things that was hilarious to me when you started DJing was I've never made so much money playing music until I started playing other people's music.
that's
Because
exactly right.
you were, I mean, you're a singer songwriter. You'd play your own music. You played in bands and you would play gigs and play and play and play, and then next thing you know, you're hitting play on a disc jockey, a CDJ or whatever, and now the money's just flowing.
So when I first started, I had not even CDJs. I had 2 CD players and a mixer and just a book of CDs. And
Yeah.
if I didn't have your song, I didn't have your song. And I was literally just push and play, let the song play. I've progressed since then. I've learned how to mix in key and mix in beat, and so I can keep the songs flowing and flowing all night long.
Yeah, I've seen you were taking courses with some DJs that I know. I think DJ Action was one.
He's a little pricey, but he's awesome.
Yeah, oh, he's fucking legit.
There's a reason
man.
he's pricey.
Yeah. So you've definitely not just, hey, I'm gonna hit play and let's go. You've taken the time and invested in learning the craft itself.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Even YouTube is great tutorials.
Oh, YouTube is great for everything. That's my first bastion of freaking anything I need to find out. That's exactly where I go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy.
By the way, my guest today is Damien Barber. A little late on the intro, but
DJ
no.
Beluvid.
DJ Beluvid. Is that your
That's my DJ name.
yeah?
My company is Beloved Entertainment. So
Okay. I see it. I see your I say what every weekend you got at least 1 or 2 gigs going, right?
it's summertime right now, so it's slow.
Yeah.
But once we hit October again, it's nonstop.
Yeah, and it's fun and being a wedding DJ, you're exposed to a lot of different music and cultures because you don't know who's approaching you to do their wedding. You don't know what their
Oh
background
yeah,
are.
it could be anybody.
Yeah,
It's
I've
awesome.
seen just like, I mean, the full gamut of cultures. And what's your world playlist sound like?
It's just too all over the place to explain. Like you never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna get requested. Even from, like, say, like a black family, all of a sudden they might like country.
Yeah.
And you didn't expect that.
Y'all left those CDs at home.
But like this one guy he was a trucker. He hung out with mostly truckers, and
Yeah.
so they listened to mostly country.
Ah.
And so he loved country, and I just was like, this is odd for me, but okay.
Yeah, let's
You know,
roll.
I'll play whatever you guys want. You're paying me.
That's how I felt being a Mexican at the show I went to the other night. It was like a bluegrass country, like fiddle, banjo.
Yeah,
type
I thought it was
stuff.
kind of odd that you liked it.
Oh, I love that shit, man.
I do too. It's
I just love that sad music, that authentic sad music. I was just thinking, I was like, why do I love that music? And not to say that I had it easy growing up, but I think I've had a fairly good childhood. And to see somebody, express that in song and just kind of like lay it out there, and I'm just like, whoa, like wash over me, man.
Well, and then to see some of the musicianship that's involved in playing those type of instruments, that's different than what we're used to. Like,
Yeah.
mainstream music is not like that.
Yeah.
I guess nowadays it seems to be. A lot of a lot of people like mandolins and stuff in their music that was never there in the 80s, 90s.
Oh yeah, as long as it's got like a poppy backbeat,
Yeah.
they'll kind of take anything at this point. But I think it's gotten to the point where the taste of people's music is a lot more broad than it used
a
to
little
be.
eclectic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like that's why you'll see me at a bluegrass group, and that's
Yeah.
why you'll play to a black wedding group, and they're wanting country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Old Town Road's like a crossover.
that's right.
I,
Well,
I hate the song already.
I had to say that, and what was the other one? Despacito.
Despacito. Yeah.
I probably listened to Despacito like 2 or 3 separate times on accident, and the other Old Town Road, I think I maybe listened to like 2 times, like just like clips, just from seeing it, because you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But it's not something I sought after, but I can see why those songs are catchy. Like I had that conversation today with somebody, and it's like, listen, it's pop music. There's a formula. There's a formula. You want to make money? You want to become famous? Here's your formula.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's roll. And that's the whole point of pop music.
And you keep it short enough for people's attention span to handle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why people don't like Fish. Because it's a 25-minute intro into a 12-minute solo. Then they go into another song halfway through. Then they go back to the other song. And you don't really know when they did it.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, it's not ADD. They're all you have to not have ADD to listen to that. It goes forever.
Yeah, because you have to be paying attention.
Like, if I drive in the car with my wife, she's changing stations or changing songs halfway through every song.
Oh, that would annoy me.
And so
I would jump right out.
I'm like, can we just listen to the album even? Like the whole album? And she can't do it.
No.
But so she can't handle Fish. She can't handle any like jam band type stuff at all. Even if it's rocking. I'm like, this is great. She's like, yeah, that part's kind of cool.
Yeah, she's just looking for the hook. She's looking for something.
But she grew up mostly on punk, which is 2-minute songs.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, punk. It was like, we're gonna play this poorly and we're gonna play it fast.
In 2 minutes, every song, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Like sometimes less. Like I think it was No Effects or someone had a song that was just called "I Like Short Songs" and it was literally like 12 seconds long. And I think the only lyric is "I like short songs." And that's it. So that's I think that's where her attention span came from.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny to watch.
It has to be funny and like kind of take you aback because, you know, I obviously you can't expect everybody to look at something the way you do and I do, and I'm just guilty of that all the time where I'm just like, well, I would see it this way, and then other people are just like, no, like.
But as musicians ourselves,
yeah,
we really are very critical about what we listen to.
Yeah.
Whereas most people don't care. Like I know half the people I interview before their wedding, and I'm like, you know, what kind of music you guys want? And they're like, we don't know.
No way.
Favorite band? I don't know. You don't have one favorite band, one favorite artist, favorite song, and they're just like, whatever's on the radio is fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you want me just playing top 40? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, well, then what?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Oh, dude, I would have a list for you. Like, I would be like this, and this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like if I threw like a big party like that, I would definitely have a live band and a DJ, and just plenty of liquor and good food, and that's about it. I don't care about anything else.
So when Abby said yes, when I asked her to marry me, I went home and that night I had a 7-hour playlist ready to go.
Oh my god. Yeah, you.
So then the DJ that we had hired, he's the guy that trained me, Patrick, and he trained me to do things like his way, basically.
Yeah.
And I eventually have taken off and done things differently, but I took a lot of what he taught me and ran with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, changed it into what I thought would work better for me.
Which you would have to.
And so by the time I got married, I already done, I think, 2 weddings. Mm-hmm. And I realized real quick, I'm like, all right, all the punk and metal has to go.
Yeah. Oh, don't tell me that.
I mean, it doesn't have to. I've done it at weddings. You know, I did a St. Patrick's Day wedding that was a morning wedding. I showed up at 8 a.m. to set up. The bride and groom were already just shit-faced.
Yes.
They had been drinking all night. They were, I think he used to be a roadie for like Authority Zero or something.
Okay,
so he was big into punk and like Irish type music.
Yeah.
And so it was all Irish and punk music all day. They were so loaded, the crowd kind of got upset and left. Oh. So it was down to the end of it, like 2 hours left to go. There was only 4 people left. It was the bride and groom and like the best man and maid of honor. The groom is just trash, doing this punk dance all over the place.
Yeah.
Then stumbling like 30 feet sideways, crashes into a wall, like would just act like he was holding up the wall. And then I look over and the bride's like sucking cherries off the bartender's fingers. I'm like, what is going on, dude? And then the security ended up having to cut them off at their own wedding.
Oh,
and then they said they were heading to a punk show after that. And I was like, they're not going to let you guys in. Like, you are trashed.
Sloshed.
So you can play punk at your wedding. It just... It may work out like that.
As long as
that's what you're looking for
left.
is a drunken shit show.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get.
That's fucking too great, man. So I could imagine that you probably get hit on a lot being at a wedding, you know, everybody's hormones are going off the chain because there's two people in love and they're seeing that, and then you're playing all the right songs. Like,
So not in a while. And I think that's my age showing.
Okay.
But yeah, when I first started, yeah, a little more. And that was really only 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I had a girl come in with like a see-through dress, and she was smoking good looking.
Yeah.
But she was just like, you know, if you play your cards right, you're getting some tonight. And I was like, by play my cards right, do you mean just like play songs that you want to hear in some random order and I have to guess?
Yeah, right.
And she's like, kind of. And I was like, get out of here. Just get out of here. Then I started hitting on the best man. He shot her down. Then I started crying out in the hallway, and I started laughing like, idiot. She introduced herself to me by saying, I'm from California. And I was like, cool, so am I.
Yeah. People do that, right? People, especially in Arizona, because we're in Arizona. People will say that.
I got hit on more in bands. Like, I would walk off stage for my band.
Yeah.
I had one girl, same type of thing, but she walked up right up to me, just like, I work at Le Girls, and just started kissing me. And I was like, cool, what's your name? And then her brother's like in the background. He's like, please don't take her home tonight. Please don't take her home tonight.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, don't worry, I'm not gonna. And I looked at my drummer. I was like, you take her home.
Banging enough drums.
Yeah, well, a girl that forward, I don't know where she's been.
That's true, right?
I'm always been a little frightened about that stuff.
Rightfully so, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've seen some shit. I'm sure you
Well,
have.
Like, I just don't want herpes. You know, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
I mean, at least you can only get it once, I guess.
Yeah. Damn, that's true. But then you get like 1A, 1B, 1C.
Yeah, you don't need any of that. So yeah, I always try to play it nice like that.
Yeah. Damn, man. So tell me, I want to hear a little bit about your Navy days. What was that like?
Navy days was pretty crazy. It's like being in a fraternity.
Yeah.
Except for money's just there. Like you're living on base. Everything's just given to you.
Yeah.
You got food. You got health care. You have everything. And then they still give you money. And so it's just free money. Like you just go out and party.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I'm sure not everyone did that. But the groups I tend to fall into. Yeah.
I mean, my lady likes to watch a lot of Bar Rescue, and they always try to emphasize, well, we're right next to a Marine base, or we're right next to an Army base, or a Navy base. And it's like,
I mean, they got free money. They're just partying, like, you know. And
well, they're all young and shit.
Especially, I would think even more so if you were at war
Yeah.
and you happen to get leave or something, you were going to tear it up because tomorrow could be your last day, especially like for a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was Navy. There was no war. It was not wartime. It was just after Desert Storm, right before Desert Shield.
Oh, you had the good of it, the Clinton days, huh?
Yeah, and I just basically hung out in Tijuana a lot. I worked the night
I gotta
shift.
ask this question. My audience is gonna be upset. You're in TJ. Did you see any shows?
No. All right, maybe I did walk into one and I left. But yeah, it's pretty wrong for both the animal and the person involved.
Whoa, what's going on here? Saying just a regular burlesque.
There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in Tijuana. But yeah, I pretty much just went to clubs. Like,
TJ has
Club
a
A
name,
was
right?
a
Isn't
big
that like
one.
the asshole of the world or something like that? What's it called?
I don't know. I'd say the armpit of the world. I think New Jersey would be the other armpit.
Oh my God, Jersey folks! I apologize for my guest here sentiments. He doesn't mean it. No, he does.
I've never been. I have no way to even tell you whether or not it would be. I've actually seen pictures. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, well, it's known as the Garden State, but
Yeah.
nonetheless.
I think maybe like, what is it, Newark? They call it Sewark.
Ooh.
Maybe that's the bad spot.
Yeah, I guess
But
so.
there's that in every city, I think. In every
Yeah, well,
in every
people
every
from
state.
that area too, though. But they'll say that they're from New York. They will. They'll like.
It's probably more prestigious.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like somebody introducing themselves to you and saying, "I'm from California," because now all of a sudden you're supposed to see them in a different light.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that is.
And really, you were just happened to be born somewhere.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
It
it.
doesn't make you any cooler.
You popped out of your mama's vagina in a certain
Happen to be
Patch
in
of earth.
freaking San Diego. You know,
San Diego's pretty nice.
It
Where
is.
were you stationed though?
In San Diego.
In San Diego, so you would go to TJ, right?
I did boot camp in Chicago at Great Lakes, or they call it Great Mistakes. And then I did. Then I went to A school down in Mississippi, which was a whole nother world.
Why?
I've never been to the South. I had never been to the South.
So like
And
humidity wise, or just like
beyond humidity,
culture?
just culture. Like it is, there is parts of that area that are, you're stepped right back into the 50s.
Yeah.
You know, the stars and bars everywhere,
Yeah.
and just rednecky. Like you go to Walmart. When I got off the plane, it's the place I was at was called Meridian, and it's this little tiny town. It's one terminal for everything. Like PV's there, PV amps.
Oh no
So
shit.
they make PV out of there. So they have their own terminal. And then the other terminal is United, Continental, like everybody. One guy kind of runs it all. He's also the Avis Rent-A-Car guy and the Hertz guy. And he's an old guy. And I was just like, you know, this looks really pretty as we flew in. Because we came in like a little puddle jumper from Tennessee, which was pretty fun to watch all the Marines just white-knuckled, freaking out as like you'd hit a pocket of air and just drop down. And I already knew to expect it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, these guys are like tough Marines, like about to go into battle. I'm just laughing. And they're all scared to death. And I was like, you guys are supposed to be tough. What's going on? So then you get in there and I'm like, this looks beautiful. Because if you fly over, it's lakes and rivers and beautiful rolling hills and green. And I was like, what is there to do? And the guy goes, well, we got a Walmart.
Yeah. Oh
And I was
shit.
like, oh, God damn it. Where did I show up at? In my city, we have 40.
Yeah.
You know?
One every 2 square miles.
I mean, there was guys in there that I would talk to from small towns, and like, yeah, we just got a stop sign.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you're proud of that as a town, huh? That's crazy. 'Cause
Yeah.
all I've lived in is cities.
Oh really?
You know? Like,
No,
I
I'm
kind
from a
of.
town where they just got a stop sign. That's it.
Yeah, I know where you're from, but like, same when I like Northern California. When I lived with my grandfather, we were in Forestville, and that was pretty rural, but we still had more than one stop sign. You know,
Yeah.
we had stop lights, and I don't know. We didn't have to drive 20 miles to the Piggly Wiggly. Like Meridian's weird. It's just weird. There's spots where they're like, you can't go there because there's skinhead boot camps training for the race wars. Like, don't go over there.
Oh, preppers.
And then there's, other side of the town where the black people are training to fight them. And you're just like, man, I can't believe this is going on. And that's the first place I saw a KKK march,
Yeah.
which was insane to me because I didn't think that still.
And
really
what year was this? 90.
2000 maybe, right around 2000,
2000?
99.
Yeah.
So yeah, just crazy. I was getting a tattoo, and the tattoo shop guys were cool, so we hung out with them a lot. We just go in there and hang out, and they didn't care, even if we weren't getting tats.
Yeah.
And then we saw that happening, and he's just like, I was like, what is the commotion? And he goes, go outside, let's go see. He's like, they're marching again. And I was like, who?
Who's
And
they?
I see it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is serious.
I read
and
about
I was
this
drunk.
in encyclopedias. Oh, here we go.
About a bottle of vodka deep.
Yeah.
In Mississippi, they will tattoo you with a bottle of vodka deep.
Yeah.
So I was at a Chinese restaurant, and we were just like, you're the dragon. Let's go get tattoos. That's military lifestyle. Just whatever you can do. Like, let's go, live for the day.
Yeah.
And so we went down there, got tattoos. Halfway through, he's just like, I'll hear all that and go outside. And they're just marching. There's skinheads. There's Ku Klux Klan. I was just like, holy crap. And then I was mad.
Yeah.
And I got mad. So I'm like, I'm going to try to fight him. And so I stood up to the front. I went up to the edge of this curb, and I'm like, the little skinhead guys walking by, and I'm like, I'm Mexican. And they're like, fuck you, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm Catholic. And I'm not really even that Mexican. I don't speak a lick of Spanish. And I'm really not Catholic anymore. So, but it was just just to be combative.
Yeah.
And they got mad, and I'm like, line them up, let's go. And a cop walks up and he's like, are you crazy, boy? And I was like, yes, I am.
Yes,
He's
I
like,
am.
get your ass inside. So the tattoo guys drug me back inside. Then they let us go upstairs, though. And the guy upstairs owned like a toy company that sold like vintage toys. But he had a whole bunch of stuff that he had like duplicates of or whatever.
Yeah.
So we were just lighting it on fire and throwing it at him. Like just having a good old time. Then finally the cop was like, no more fire.
Yeah.
And we're just like, all right, whatever. Just went back to the tattoo. And even the guy was like, maybe we shouldn't do this because they're going to come burn my place to the ground.
Yeah. They'll make a mental note of that.
Mm-hmm.
So what tattoo did you get?
You're the dragon, this stupid dragon.
Hey.
I hate it.
Does it still look like a dragon?
Yeah, for now. It'll be covered up soon enough.
Yeah? What are you getting?
I don't know yet.
No?
I don't know. I'll probably go see your boy, though.
Yeah, Adam? Yeah.
If I can't afford I got a buddy who owns Solon,
Okay.
and they're out in LA now, but they have a big art collective, and their tattoos are fantastic.
Of course.
But I'm sure they're
Ah,
a little out of my price range, probably. So
yeah, man, you pay for that quality, and especially it's eternal.
Mhm.
You know.
he gave me this first one on this arm, and that was just like his second tattoo. So it's
Oh shit.
it's pretty bad
Yeah.
compared to what he can do now. I'm like, man, I think.
Yeah.
But I only paid him in like guitar magazines.
What?
Yeah. He just wanted
Like you're pulling out pages or like
no,
full
he wanted
magazines?
like the full
like...
like a whole stack of them that he wanted to learn how to play guitar. So I gave him, a stack of magazines, and I think I gave him like a lesson.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he didn't stick with it. He does triathlons now. He's probably too busy with that. Plus running a giant company.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty crazy to watch some of your high school friends grow
Yeah,
up. And
you're
just,
saying
like,
it's
take off.
Sullen?
Solon, yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
So
Yeah.
they hired the guy that did oh man, was it Metal Militia?
It sounds about right because
They hired the main guy that was like their main advertising guy to kind of take over for them and try to rebrand them a little bit. But he's already got so much. They got a UFC gym inside of his studio, like art collective. He's got all kinds of stuff going on. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
I don't get to see him much at all, but like he's killing it, which is cool.
And they're in LA.
Yep, he's out of Huntington Beach, I think.
Yeah, they I would assume it's like all that Metal Militia, like all that. They sponsored a bunch of like dirt bike and BMX and like just extreme sport.
That's pretty much what Solon is too. Mostly dirt bikes, I think, was what they started with. But yeah, I'm sure he's gonna branch out more. Like
yeah, well, any like not good businessmen, but just anybody with that passion and drive. Yeah, they'll seek any opportunity.
yeah, I got another buddy like from high school. I never would have expected in my life, just having known him in high school the way he was, and all of a sudden now he's like, multi-millionaire construction company.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, how? Like you had a rat tail when I met you. Like
He
punk little kid.
probably saved it, dude. It's in the first drawer on the right. He just
Probably.
rubs it anytime
He's
it's
got it in a case.
yeah. When it comes to making a big decision, he's all right.
It's right next to his first dollar made. Yeah, that guy's.
First dollar in the year is 1969 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see people like from my school. Like I got even a friend, this girl Lindsay, who's a fantastic DJ. I didn't even know that about her back then.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's up in New York, like kicking butt. She's taking a step back because she's got kids now, and she's having trouble, balancing the kid life with.
It's tough,
especially trying
man.
to be like a popular club. Like she was opening for big name people like Solange and
oh shit.
like she was killing it. And then it sounds like she's about to take a step back.
Yeah, it's tough, man. To be a good parent, it's tough. Like that's why I don't look down on stay-at-home parents and people that get the household in line so their spouse can continue their career in this. Like that's so when like somebody complains about like usually it's like, oh, the woman gets half, the woman got half of everything I made. And it's like she gave you the opportunity to do that because
she made you half of what you were.
Yeah, because you had the time to stay away from the house because the house was being handled.
Yeah.
So pay your fucking dues.
Yeah.
Like it's huge, man. Like, and I've experienced it to an extent where my wife has gotten a new job within this year and she's traveled a lot, and I'm at home with the kids and I'm like drop them off at daycare or school, go to work, pick them up afterwards, come home, dinner, homework, bath time. Next thing you know, the day's fucking gone. And
like
I'm
Big
just
Daddy and you like put like newspaper over the pew.
Exactly, man. Damn you, Scuba Steve.
Scuba Steve.
I fucking used to love that movie, dude. I mean, I still do. Come on.
I quote that movie constantly.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Rob Schneider and the class. I mean, his classic, the five guys he had in like every movie.
Yeah. Did you know his daughter is that chick Ellie King? X's and O's song.
Whose daughter?
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider, his daughter's Ella King.
Ellie King, I think.
She's a little thicker, right? She's like
the X's and O's songs are like her big hit, right? It was
really.
last year or
She's
something.
got pipes.
I
man.
might be wrong, but that's what my wife just told me. So it's on you, Abby, if I'm wrong.
She's got pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's awesome.
Tequila.
Yeah, what you got there? What's it?
It's George Clooney's tequila.
Oh no shit!
I stole it from him. No.
You broke in.
Mm-hmm.
You broke in when he was on one of his raids in Ocean's freaking 23.
Yeah.
George Clooney's tequila, huh? Where's
pretty tasty.
So are you more into tequila than anything else these days?
Yeah, I don't really drink anything else besides water.
Oh no shit. So this is a special occasion. I'm
I'll have
honored.
milk. Sometimes I like milk after dinner.
Goat milk, almond milk.
Just regular milk. 1%.
Is your wife still breastfeeding? I'm just messing.
I wish.
Oh shit.
No kidding.
Oh, because they were nice and plump then.
Dude, they're always plump.
Hey, good going, Abby.
She was born ridiculous.
Yeah.
She has big ideas.
Oh, okay.
Like very, very low hanging earlobes.
Oh, she'll love this.
She's not watching. She'll be pissed.
Well, we're not streaming.
Okay, good.
I am recording, but
You don't have to cut anything out. Don't worry about it.
oh, I don't cut shit out.
No one. My mom already warned me today when I posted that I was going to be on this, and
Yeah.
she's just like, she called Abby and she's like, "You tell him to watch his mouth, and you tell him."
Oh, she thinks you're gonna talk shit about
And
her.
I was like, man, I should just roast my mom this
No,
entire time.
your mom's interesting. I've heard the stories, but she still managed to get you to where you are now, or to get you to the point where then you worked on yourself to get you where you are now. But
I mean, I can't say my parents gave me a good childhood.
yeah,
I had a good time.
yeah,
We all
That's
had our
good.
stupid teenage problems and whatever, but
yeah,
arguments with our parents and thinking that we're no more than they do, and
yeah.
and I thought that even at 25, and then even at 28, I was like, I still don't know anything. Then I hit 30, and I was like, I need to grow up.
Yep.
Like they say we're adults at 18. I didn't really feel like an adult
Hell
till
no.
I was at least 30, and I really was like,
Yeah.
really that's when at 30 I wasn't even really an adult yet. I was like, I should think about being an adult now.
Yeah.
And then 32, I was like, all right, 32 is probably right about when I asked Abby to marry me, and I was like, I need to make something out of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just live the party and just be crazy all the time. Like,
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like 29, 30 when I was like, okay, like I'm doing the responsible thing now. Like that's it. Like, so for somebody to be considered an adult at 18, man, kinda.
I mean, I maybe knew 3 people who were probably an adult at 18 that really like lived the part.
Yeah, but then don't most of those people fall apart like later on where they're like,
Quite a few of them. I mean, quite a few of them did.
yeah, they fall apart later on when they're just like, the weight of the image that they've tried to maintain kind of gets to them.
Yeah, so you see him like after high school and like, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, and then you see him like 5 years later from out of nowhere at some random party in college, and they're like, he's a disaster.
Yeah.
He's on meth or whatever. Like, what the heck happened
It's
to
the
him?
pressure.
Yeah,
Well, meth, Adderall, what's the difference?
any of it. Heroin. Like I've seen all kinds of. I've had friends die. I got friends that are in prison. One friend, he wasn't really. He was a friend in high school, but he's in prison. He used to show up at my house and just be like, "Can I just walk up to the door with like a needle in my arm and ask your dad, can I take your daughter to dinner?" And I was like, you
Hannibal
can if you want to
style?
die. Like,
Hannibal style.
if you wanna die.
Wait, what did your dad do?
so my dad is a chemist and a geologist.
Okay.
So for a long time, he owned.
So he
worked as
was a crack
geologist.
dealer.
Could have been.
Is that yeah, I'm saying like Breaking Bad
He's
style,
probably
right?
smart enough to do that, but he's a Boy Scout as far as stuff like that goes. He would never do that.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
he has a drink once in a while.
When he wants to let loose,
Yeah.
he'll say shucks and
Yeah, literally like I didn't hear him swear till he cut off part of his finger.
and even then it
And
was
then he
like
just
all
goes,
fiddlesticks.
Damn it! And even in my head, I think I was probably 9 or 10, and I was like, we were in the garage in Colorado. He was working on the minivan, and then I was like, "That's all you got?" I would have lost it. You're bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, you lost the tip, just the tip.
He was able to get it put back on, I guess, or something. But yeah,
oh,
it's pretty crazy.
what's he doing now, or is he still around?
He's still around. He's up in Utah.
Okay.
And he owns another environmental drilling company. He basically tests. He's as a geology company, so he tests while people drill for oil.
Yeah.
And just tells them where the rock they're heading through is. So when they change the bit, when they've hit oil or when they've hit whatever they're drilling for,
That has
natural
to be
gas
lucrative.
or whatever. I would think so. I don't know. I don't ask him about finances. We don't talk about that stuff.
Oh, that's a good move.
You know, like the way I see it is like if he gives me something when he passes away, awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm capable of making my own thing.
Bang.
And so I'm off trying to make my own thing. Like
That's awesome.
I'm not going to rely on what he might do.
Yeah.
Or what might happen. Maybe he gets super sick and all that money has to get taken to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather see my dad live than get $1. I don't care. The only thing I want is his Taylor.
What's he got?
He's got like a 714, I think. Acoustic. It's pretty nice. I would take that. He also has one of those Taylor the T5s.
Oh.
I would take the Taylors.
Fuck
I could care less about anything else. Like, I really don't care. My brother can have the cars, whatever. He's got like a Volvo, an old Volvo, which I think is just the lamest sports car you could buy. Sorry, Dad. He's got like a Volvo, a 60-something Volvo sport wagon.
Okay. Does it got like the brown sides and everything?
No, it's all white.
Yeah.
He wanted like the English racing green. He grew up in France and England when he was young. His dad was military also, so
Okay.
he was used to seeing those types of cars, and he really liked that one for some reason. I'm like, of all the sports cars,
Hey.
like, I mean, everyone's got their own thing, but like, there's, you know, fastback Mustangs and Camaros and Vets, and there's so many other cool cars. I've been watching comedians in cars getting coffee.
Such a good show.
Yeah, and so many like cool cars he drives.
Yeah.
That I'm like, even that little cheeseball Volvo that he drove the other night and the one I watched, I'm like, that's cooler than the one you got. Why did you get that one? And I drove it once. I don't think he knows I drove it, but I drove it once. And I was like, this is it?
Yeah.
Like, where's the balls to it?
No. Who knows, man? Maybe he touched his first boob in the freaking backseat of that car.
It could
That's
be.
probably
You
what
never
it
know.
is.
Hopefully like 20 boobs.
20. At least 21 before you met your mom.
Yeah, I don't know. They were pretty young. I think they were 19 when they had me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
19. So were they living overseas or?
No, he was already back. He had been back for probably a while because he went to high school in San Francisco. Met my mom up in Santa Rosa, and then they moved to San Diego and had me.
Are you an only child?
No, I got brother and a sister, and then we have kind of like an adopted brother as well. He doesn't talk to us much, but if you're listening, that's your fault, right?
Hey, that's your fault. Mysterious.
We love you. Call us.
Mysterious half barber.
He's ripped too.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he beats the crap out of me for saying that, and I'm sure he knows it.
He's got a little bit of that roid rage.
I don't know if he's roided or not, but he's huge.
Enormous.
He would throw me across the world.
So you plan to play any shows? Getting back into it at all, or
I want to so bad.
Really tied up.
I would DJ Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights pretty much every week. Sometimes Mondays, random Wednesdays, Thursdays. So I mean, I have weddings sometimes where I'm like 9 in a row. You know, like a Friday night or Thursday night, Friday morning, Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Monday.
Oh, that's right. People get married
and
in
then
the morning
off on
too,
Tuesday, and then to do customer service, build my weddings for the next week, and back at it on Wednesday. So you feel like it's just there's no end in sight. You can't see your hand in front of your face, and then you get the paycheck, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's why I do this. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's the fun of it. I want to be in a band again so bad.
Yeah.
It will happen one day. Even if I'm 75 and it's just a stupid jazz band, you know.
Stupid jazz band.
Like just playing like local Sunday brunch at some hotel. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just something. But I want to more get back into songwriting, and I still write lyrics. I don't write music as much because I don't have time to play my guitar as much.
Yeah.
But I still own, I had a custom-made Telecaster from a guy who owned a place called Riddell Guitars. He recently passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Really sad. It was really fast. But he's a fantastic guitar builder. He used to work for Fender Custom Shop. He made me a really cool custom guitar to my specs that like everything I wanted.
Yeah.
And it's a super versatile guitar. So I got that done. I've played it maybe 7 or 8 times since I've had it in 2 or 3 years now.
Shit.
So it just sits in its case being humidified, ready, just waiting for me.
Damn. You need to get on that. When you write songs, like where do you draw from?
experiences mostly, like, you know, how I'm feeling at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I probably had I was hanging out on my patio the other night. I was trying to DJ, and I have this like little mini controller.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sat there on my patio, and I tried to make like little mini mixes, like 15-minute mix of just this, just so like if I have to go to the bathroom at a wedding, I can throw something on and not be worried about the music because I know this is a cool little mix and people will continue to party.
Yep.
And so I've been doing a bunch of those, like just in every genre.
Yeah.
And then I was like bored of it, and so I just sat there and I was just feeling like how bored I was of all of it. Like I was just bored of life all of a sudden. And so I wrote a whole song about like how I was bored and no one to talk to. And it's really sad.
Yeah.
I wasn't really feeling that sad. I was bored,
Yeah.
but it came out really sad. And I'm like, this would be an awesome country song. Like, it's so sad.
So slide guitar, like creepily in the
Yeah.
background.
I think you need like a pedal steel on that one.
Yeah. Pedal steel.
But yeah, I just draw from that. If I'm angry,
Yeah.
But
you had in that moment you had to release. You had all this pent up energy and
yeah. So I just go on my phone and find the notes and I just start writing. And I've got like probably 50 songs of lyrics on my notes.
yeah.
So when I start to write music again, I can put the lyrics to the songs or probably I'll end up scrapping half of them because half of what I write, I'm like, this is amazing. And then the next day I read it again. I'm like, this is so stupid. Sounds like a kid wrote it. How much did I drink?
That's the issue, right? It's all alcohol influenced or another substance.
Back in the day, it was like, I'm pretty good now. I drink, but I don't drink. I was drinking a lot. Last year, a lot.
Yeah.
I've cut that way back for health reasons.
I think, when did we last hang out? Was it about a year ago?
Probably. I don't know.
You know,
Everything blends together. It's so weird because I'll say that and then I'll talk to Abby and she'll be like, no, that was 3 years ago. Because I'll say like something happened last week.
Yeah.
I'm like, just like the other day. And she's like, that was a year ago. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And like,
yeah, I want to say almost a year ago the last time we hung out at Dos Gringos right there on
yeah,
Greenfield.
that's right.
Yeah.
Actually, that same dude's DJing tonight. I might go over there after this.
Yeah. Hey, hell yeah. Yeah. I've always appreciated your insight because I just felt like you were way more experienced in life than I was. Being in the Navy and being older than me. Because when we met, we got hired on at the same time at the job, and I knew nothing in the job I was going into. I almost felt like I was hired because kind of my personality, like I'm like quick in a team environment to kind of like
you're
try
personable.
and take the lead. Yeah, I'm personable and I fucking speak Spanish.
Faked it well.
Yeah, I speak Spanish. Yeah, right.
Spanish helps a lot.
Yeah, so I felt like that was a little bit of that affirmative action. No, but it's who I was in like that team building. But I definitely learned a lot from you, and not necessarily just like in the job itself, but just your insight, the way you would look at things, and when you would have like these snide remarks or just these quips. Like I was just like, oh shit, I've never thought of something like that. And I was actually just the other day mentioning to my father-in-law's friend and he was asking me how the podcast is going and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe even doing like some stand-up. And I pulled up the roast that we did
that was so good.
Eric Schleyline, our old manager.
Mm-hmm.
And
what up, E-Rex?
Such a good fucking time. And I look back and I was like, I know my buddy, my roommate at the time, my buddy Nacho, who's a funny guy in himself, helped me write a couple of the things because I just left it to like the last, 2 days. I wrote most of the jokes on like my lunch break the day of the event. But it was so fun to deliver that. And you were the opening roaster, sort of, the host, Gus. Yeah. But god damn, man, did you have some fucking killers? And I'm like, man, you
did too. Though. Like every single one of us killed it. And here's what was the kicker.
Yeah.
We all thought about ours.
Yeah.
We worked hard on ours to make them good. Like I was nervous doing that.
Yeah, me too.
I don't usually get that nervous in front of a crowd. I'm pretty good at getting up on the stage and just being an idiot.
Same.
But that night, because we were amongst our peers and like I was shaking with my paper.
Me too. That. And you can hear in both our voices.
Claire walked up. Nothing prepared. and also killed. Like that girl is just naturally funny. She should have been
Yeah.
a stand. She should be a stand-up.
Yeah, there's so many people that should just be
Like
doing
we
it.
can do it.
Yeah.
She can just do it. Like my buddy Artie's the same way. Artie just has to have 2 drinks and complain about his life, and he is hysterical, which is kind of what stand-ups do.
Yeah.
Claire was the same. I was just like, man, how she had nothing prepared,
She really didn't.
and she was still hysterical.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got pretty mean. I know that, but it was a roast. I was like, we're
It was
supposed
a
to.
fucking roast.
I actually
dude.
want someone. I want that for my like when I turn 50. That's what I want, a roast for my birthday.
Yeah.
I want everyone to tear me.
Well,
apart.
let me know, dude, because I definitely want in. We almost did another one through my job, but they've just gotten really strict lately on being involving the company, just like most companies are, involving the company in something that involves
Someone in
alcohol.
corporate finally heard our
and
roast or what?
I don't know what happened, man. But like it was like the roast of every poor fuck to work at our place of employment, and they're like, one guy was like, maybe you just take off that last bit, and I'm like, oh, okay, like this big box music store or a retail establishment, like like totally what we're talking about. And then eventually they were like, just scrap the idea, and I'm all, fuck, all right, like there goes the morale.
Yeah. Don't harsh my gig, man.
But you're a fucking great roaster, man. You're a great joke writer in the sense, because I was thinking about it earlier, like when we were starting too. I was thinking about that because I had just listened to it, and I was like, I need to bring that up. And I don't know necessarily if you would be that kind to like write like this whole story out, but like your quick fucking like jabs to like cut deep in the roast scenario, fucking it was they were great, man.
I've thought about stand up too. It's a scary thing.
It
do.
is.
Like
Super, man.
I watched my buddies do it. They had like a comedy duo they were trying to do for a while, and they're both in their own right very funny guys.
Yeah.
I didn't think that their humor translated well to a whole audience.
Yeah.
They were a little slapsticky, like walked out on stage and like tripped over each other. They had some really funny stuff in there that was great as if you're doing a 2-person type comedy act, but I don't think the crowd got it as much as we did because we see them doing these things all the time and we realize their humor is like that.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of took them both away from it. Like they used to open for my band a lot. Like I'd let them open for us.
Oh shit.
We were like the main band over at this place called O'Malley's.
O'Malley's.
And it was in downtown Tempe off like Lemon and something. It's gone now.
I was thinking about O'Malley's in Tucson.
Yeah, we called it Schmalmal because we were always drunk. Schmalmals. And it was fun. Like we were the head, like the main act every Friday and Saturday night or something like that. We were like, we were the head of the bar. And the bartender or the owner, his stipulation for us to play there was that every night once he was drunk, he got to sing some Ozzy Osbourne song. So we'd play like, whatever, Sweet Leaf or whatever. Yeah. And he'd come up and sing it, usually drunk and pretty badly.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we're still friends now, like years later.
Just some random.
Yeah, and his bar, it wasn't doing well. I think he was sleeping in the bar. Like he had nowhere to go.
Ooh,
like it was failing. But he was young, poorly run.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot better now. But it was a fun time of my life. Like I just remember some great stories from there. Like random people coming up to us after we were done playing. We're gonna, I'm your manager now. Like, who are you? And like there's this one guy in particular. I can't remember his name now, but we were skipping arm in arm right in front of him. At the end of the night, going back to a party at his house or one of our houses or something. We're going to go back after party. And he's right behind us. And we're just like, because he was missing his teeth. And we're just like, never trust a man with no front teeth. I said, never trust a man with no front teeth. Because we didn't trust him. And he's like dancing with us. And we're like, we're talking about you, whatever. This is fun. This is good.
I've never heard that phrase. I've heard of don't trust a man with no ass because his ass has been chewed out too many times or something like that.
No teeth. So.
That's too funny, man.
And he tried, I think at one point he got up on stage and tried to do, we needed to fill more time before we came on or something like that. Yeah. Like a band didn't show or something. So we had my buddies do their comedy. And then he's like, I'm funny. I'll do comedy. And we're like, okay, I guess. And he just basically starts offending everybody in the crowd.
Oh, that's good.
Like it wasn't funny. Just straight up offensive, picking on my sister, picking up, finds out where she's from, then just calls her Utah all night. And I was like, she's not even from Utah. You just happened to, she said she lived in Utah once.
Yeah.
But he's like, all right, Utah. Okay, Utah. She thick. And I'm like, girls don't want to hear that they're thick, man.
Nope.
And so she just hated him. Like, then her friends turned on him. And like, everyone turned on him. And it might have been the same night, too, that Jake Plummer and Pat Tillman came to come see our show.
Oh, shit.
And he didn't know who they were. So he threw them out. And
What?
Yeah, they didn't have ID or something, he said.
So they were going to ASU at the moment.
So we had just heard, they were, I think they had just won the Rose Bowl or whatever, went to the Rose Bowl. And so we knew who they were. And so I come running out. I'm like, let them in. And they're like down the street, gone already. And I was like, are you stupid? I was like, you offended the crowd. You don't let in like big name people to my show. And I think that was the night he's like, well, I'm going to be your manager. And that's probably, I think that was the same night they were all like, no front teeth.
Yeah, you how can you trust somebody at that point when they've fucking offended your crowd, kicked out some fucking,
Offended my sister too, on top of like she's there with her friends. Like I'm trying to build a clientele, and you're smashing it. I don't think he was there after that. There was a different door guy, but he was just the door guy. And now all of a sudden he was my manager. I had another friend from high school do the same thing. I played a gig just with a cover band at some sports bar. And all of a sudden, like, I'm the best one. He's like, you're the best one in the band. You're going on tour. I'm your manager.
What?
I'm like, what? Tried to leave him there. Like, I was like, all right, I'm just going to escape. And then my buddy, who also owned the bar at the time, was like, no, you're not leaving me with him. And so he brought him to my house. And then he ends up in a fist fight and gets his teeth knocked out. Like, yeah. Dude, I got a million stories.
There you go. You're missing teeth. And then we can't trust you.
Mm-hmm. I had so many stories just from high school alone that when I was in the Navy, we'd say the prayer at the end of the night, and then everyone would be like, Barber, tell us a story. So it was my job to tell a story every one night to get everyone to sleep. And probably some of them were a little embellished by then, but like for the most part, they're pretty true.
Yeah.
And, my uncle at one point even was kind of like, you make stuff up a lot. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. You haven't lived as fun of a life as I have.
No.
Like, I've seen a lot. Like, I'm not making this stuff up.
Yeah. And that's why I when I.
It might be that I'm more observant.
Yes.
So I notice it more.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Or I don't walk away from confrontation or danger. Like, I'm like kind of like, ooh, this looks fun.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else would be like, I don't want to know what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
But you just missed out on a good story.
Let me go ahead and escape that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that. Like, I'll run towards it. Like, what's going on over here?
So how many fights have you been in?
None in a long time, which thankfully.
Well, you got a kid now, so I hope none.
Yeah, no, like, I don't think I've been in a fist fight since the military.
Yeah.
Maybe one after that.
Yeah, I'm from, Yuma's a military-based town. I mean, they got the big Marine base out there, so that's quite a common theme. Just to have just military personnel go out, drink, have a little bit too much to drink, somebody wanting to test them or them wanting to test themselves, and then there you go.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we got in a lot in the military, mostly with Marines.
With other Marines?
Well, I was Navy, so.
Oh, well, that's right.
They have like a little rivalry in a way.
Yeah.
Like, we're really part of the same team. Like,
because the SEALs, right? The SEALs are the equivalent to like a Marine.
No.
Or the SEALs are special
forces.
Yeah.
Marines are basically the foot soldiers of the Navy.
Okay.
So the Navy is the ships and the helicopters and the air wing. Marines have that stuff, some of that stuff too, but for the most part, we drive them around. So that's what their big joke is always. We like you guys. You give us a ride.
Oh, okay.
And my response always was like, well, I like you too because you go catch the bullets.
Jesus.
More power to you, man. Like, I'll drive you anywhere you want to go if I don't have to be in that situation.
Yeah.
So, and I respect the heck out of them. Like,
of course.
I'm doing a wedding for one of my good friends from high school who's a Marine, ex-Marine, and he was a, fantastic decorated soldier, fought in major wars, and he's a cool dude. And, I respect everything he did. He did way more than I did.
Yeah.
So when people are like, well, we thank you for your service, I'm like, no, thank him, dude. I partied in Tijuana.
Yeah, but somebody.
And I didn't even drive him around. I never even got on a boat.
Somebody
My
in
joke
your
was always I
shoes.
didn't join the Navy to get on a boat.
No.
I didn't even join the Navy to go swimming. I was air wing.
Air wing. What's that?
Just airframes. I worked for mostly helicopters and the planes, and
Okay.
so I worked in the airframes division, taking in parts basically. I was like a secretary that logged in parts.
Yeah, weren't you were telling me one time that you guys were placing orders for a what the handle of like a cupboard or something like that, and what was the bill?
It was like $10,000 for a plastic handle. It was like the cover of a doorway to a fuselage or something like that.
Yeah,
And I was just like
10 Gs.
10,000, and I'm talking to my chief, and he's like, "Our job is not to ask questions." I'm like, "I gotta know
yeah.
why 10,000." He's like, "It's not our job. Just place the order."
Oh
I'm like,
my-
"But where's the money going?" He's like, "We all have our suspicions. Shut your mouth." That's kind of how it is. You don't ask questions. You just do.
yeah, the money flows in wartime. That's when I don't know if it's Neil deGrasse Tyson's quote, but that's the first time I heard it was in one of his books where it's like, hey, if there's wartime, that's when, NASA can expect more money, more funding, just more funding in general. And I think that was the thing that hindered our progress with the CERN. CERN, that's, I think, what's that, in Switzerland?
Yeah, the giant reactor thing.
Yeah, we were building one, I think, in Texas, and then Desert Storm ended, and then there goes the funding, and so we could have discovered the Jesus particle. What's that referred to as? I fucking forget, but basically, the funding was there during war because it's like, hey, this could help out, the defense forces, all of that, and then the war ends, and then they're like, well, we can't fund you anymore.
The job to have in the world would be to own a company that supplies some sort of a product to the military.
Because not only can
Even
you...
the ashtrays in the officers club, they have to break into 3 equal pieces.
What?
If it drops and breaks, it has to break into 3.
Why?
They're like $500 per ashtray.
Why does it have to break in 3 different pieces?
Shards of glass? I don't know. As if we don't own brooms, like...
Oh, so it's easier to clean up,
Yeah,
I guess, at that
so you
point?
can just pick up 3 chunks real quick and throw them away. So there's no extra, so they make the glass a specific way, but it's supposedly like $500 per ashtray. That's outrageous.
Yeah, and not only are you paying on that, but you're also paying on their health care for being smokers.
Yeah. Well,
Eat. What the fuck was I saying earlier? I don't remember. This peanut butter whiskey is going to
hitting
the
you
head.
nicely.
Yeah. You want another shot?
I think I do.
Babe.
I think babe's busy. She's trying to put in work.
Dude, she does. She puts in work. I'll tell you
Sounds
what.
like it. I was talking about what she does. Her
Yeah, I know.
title alone was like, I don't know, that sounds too much for me.
It's fucking a lot.
And the rest is for you to chug.
Give me some ice. And that peanut butter whiskey. That shit is too good.
It is way too good.
It's like I'm drinking a Butterfinger or Reese's Blizzard.
What brand is it?
Screwball. You got me.
Where do you get it? Fries?
Yeah, Fries. I got it at Safeway. I'm sure Fries has
Okay,
it.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Just a regular grocery store.
Yeah, not like Total Wine or something, but gracias, mi amor. Yeah, it's too delicious. A lot like Fireball, like you were saying, or any of those, like the peach whiskey. The peach whiskey is a little too sweet. What's the other one? Honey. There's the honey whiskey. That's just dangerous.
Yeah, we had a tequila when we were in Rocky Point, and I think it was called Grindane.
Dang.
And it kind of looks like the Tres Amigos bottle. So it's got like 3 guys with like sombreros, but it's like more older looking, like 1800s almost. And it's cinnamon honey almond tequila.
Cinnamon almond honey. Damn.
It's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And it's it's super sweet though because it's like Fireball. It's like half sugar, really. You know, it's not just liquor. So you are gonna be a mess the next day. But we bought 6 bottles of it, 3 to drink there. We were there for like 3 days, so 3 to drink there. But we figured about a bottle a day, and then 3 to bring home. We finished all 6 bottles in the first day. And then everyone was just a disaster after that. Like we were just sitting in the water, like we just hung out in the water, you know, just like up to our waist, and just passed the bottle around and talked and had a good old time.
I don't think you don't get over that the sugar. I think that's what gets me. Like if I have her Mike's Harders, she likes to drink Mike's Harders, and I can drink this shit all night, be good, you know, any mixed drink, hard drink. But as soon as I have like maybe 2 of those, like I'm hurting the next day.
That's what I was saying with Fireball. Like I was grounded after the first night. I'm grounded myself from it for life because it goes down too easy.
Yep.
And I was pretty much passed out. Not passed out, blacked out. Like I'm not a jerk when I'm blacked out. I don't know. My wife might differ from that, but I'm pretty happy. I'm a pretty happy guy when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
So, but that one, like, I don't remember, and I don't like not remembering.
No,
So,
who does?
Yeah.
Who does? And that's one of the main reasons why some people won't drink, because they feel like they're not in control or too quick to lose control of, you know, their inhibitions or the situation.
Yeah. My best friend Tony partied like crazy from like 16 till I'd say about 33 maybe.
It's a good run.
And then nothing now.
He got it out.
And it's because the last time he did it, right around 33, I think right about before I got married, he was drunk, crying, you know, telling my wife that, you know, we were about to get married. So he's like, "Oh, I give him to you." And she's like, "What? You don't own him." Like,
yeah.
So he felt really embarrassed about it, I think, and he just he'll have like a shot when we do our fantasy football draft, because we make everyone do that.
Yeah.
And then that's it, and maybe one shot during the Super Bowl, because we always party for the Super Bowl as well.
Okay.
So that's about it. Like, but he doesn't do any of that anymore, and I understand why.
Yeah. know? More power to people that recognize that. I don't know, you know, having that, they can't even have that one. Like, I can't imagine being in that position where I can't even have one sip or taste, because it's all downhill from there.
Well, I thought I was heading there last year when I was being pretty out of control. Like, I was literally drinking, like that bottle we were drinking. Yeah. I have right here. I would drink a half of that every night.
Fuck.
Yeah. Every night. Now I'm skipping nights. You know?
That's a good move.
2 in a row. At least 1 in a row. Like, I'm not drinking every night, and I can't drink that much now when I do drink, because I'm not doing it every day. But it was bad. Like, I know it was bad. You know, I even told my doctor, and he's just like, "Wow, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, how was your hangover?" And I was like, "No hangover."
No.
And he's like, "That's not good. That means you're too used to it."
Yeah. And
he's like, "How about instead of living every day like it's a party, you party on the days when it's time to party, like your birthday or someone's party or Christmas or something, like, you know,
an occasion.
Party for an actual party, not just because it's a day." Like,
yeah.
Because I was like, you know, today ends in Y, it's time to party.
Yeah, you get home, you're stressed out, you want to relax, and, you know, who doesn't want to have a sip, dude?
Well, and especially when I'm working, I'm watching everyone party around me all night.
Yeah, it's true.
So it makes it a little rough, because, like, you want to, but as a professional, you can't.
Yes.
You know, I do not drink when I'm working ever. So I skip that whole part of it. And I've had people come up to me constantly, especially groomsmen, like best men, like, "Come on, DJ, have shots with us." And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
You know, I work for the venue just as much as I work for you. So they don't want me to drink. Like, this is my job. I'll lose my job. Mm-hmm. I probably wouldn't, but...
Yeah, but then you get sloppy. Yeah, you get sloppy, and then next thing you know, they got complaints.
Well, as I found out at the bar the other night, actually, as I have a few shots in me, I'd mix a lot cooler stuff. Like, I start thinking back, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, right. What about Cypress Hill? What about this?" Like, I start getting back to the '90s, and I'm like, "Yeah." And then I start DJing like the fun stuff.
Well, yeah, I guess you
You know.
start stop over analyzing like your next choice, and it's just like let's just flow.
Well, especially when you're doing Taco Tuesday with only like 15 people. Like that's through the course of the night, switching in and out. Like you're like, there's no crowd really that cares what I'm playing. I'm just gonna play what I want.
Yeah,
I got paid to practice.
yeah,
It's nice. Like that's all I did, just practice the whole night. Like, oh, let's try mixing in this genre. Let's throw in, I don't know, Public Enemy, and then let's throw in Billie Eilish just to be funny.
Yeah,
And no one cared.
Yeah,
They weren't even listening, probably.
yeah. It's background music to an extent.
Mm-hmm. The first time I did it, my only dancers was the drunk Asian girl who was trying to impress her boyfriend,
and
then my daughter, who's 4, and came with my wife. And within 25 minutes, decided it was too loud. She doesn't like what Daddy does and wants to leave. Even though I was playing her songs. But so when I played Umbrella from Rihanna, she went nuts, because that's her song.
Yeah.
But
Hell yeah. Umbrella. That's circa 2008.
Probably around there, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Are you going to check that for me? It's
Good thing we have a fact checker.
I'm going to say it's 2008. Because I remember playing that, being on the radio a lot when I was working at the warehouse job I had. And that was, I got laid off from that end of 2008. So, yeah, am I good? Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and say that was May of 2008. Hey,
Wow, you're going that.
I'm going deep.
Wow.
I'm going to say it's right before the summer.
How much more can you do that with?
Hold on.
When did Deftones' White Pony come out?
I've never heard the song.
It's an album.
Oh,
you've never heard that album?
Probably not. Do they have changes or flies or
Yeah,
what's the word?
I think that's on there. Changing the House of Flies.
Changing the House of Flies. Yeah,
I think that's on that album.
that would have to be like 98.
Passengers on that one.
That had to be 98.
That's probably about right.
Yeah, I'm pretty good when it comes to that, like pop culture trivia type of like. I don't know, like. What? It wasn't 2008? 2007. That's my next guess. 2007?
Try Deftones' White Pony.
You know what?
Watch it be 2004 and you're just way off.
March 2007. You know why? Yeah, because I know was working with the company. Then they started laying people off, and we moved over to the main warehouse, and that was in 2008. And in 2007, we would have been at the old warehouse where we were listening to that song. So
nice retraction.
My bad. My bad. Again, no, I'm a big. I like that. The trivia stuff.
Oh yeah, we used to do trivia a lot. Like every Tuesday we had a babysitter and we do trivia and.
Yeah, that's right. You actually I mentioned that a few times. Where were you guys going though?
3 different bars basically. It just depended on who was like hosting it. Some hosts were not as good. We ended up at this one in Ahwatukee, that one that used to be Hooters. I can't remember the name of it. Tukey's or something, which makes, I guess, sense. But yeah, so we would end up there the most. It was really fun. Like we had a good team. We ended up like trying to be in the league, but it turns out the league for trivia is like bar lushes who just go out every night.
Oh.
And I'm like, I only have a sitter on Tuesday. Like I can't go out every night, so.
So wait, in the league you'd have to go out every night, or
to win if you wanted to win. Like if you wanted to win, like go into like a final.
Yeah, because
they have like a state final thing.
Accumulation of all your points. I guess.
Yeah, and then you win money, but it ends up being like $1,000. So like with the amount you would spend to go to do trivia and drink and have something to eat every night when you're out, and then you're gonna get way out of shape from eating bar food every night.
Like you could always order a salad.
Bar food's like eating a cupcake. It's like a special treat,
Yeah.
Which I'm just learning. So there was a couple years there where the only vegetables I ate came with my hot wings. And I ate hot wings all the time.
Hot wings ain't too bad unless they're breaded. But,
But I was eating them 7 nights a week.
Oh, that'll do it.
I really like wings. So
yeah, you can't. Well, bake them. Fuck it.
Well, I got one of those air fryers.
Yep. Hey.
I love the air fryer. We made jalapeno poppers tonight.
Yeah. Oh, we should have brought some.
I should have actually. We had extras.
You
Dude, bacon wrap jalapeno poppers.
Ah,
Tonight's
mi
dinner was,
corazón.
tonight was ceviche and jalapeno poppers.
Holy shit! What?
Good dinner.
Should have gone over there for dinner. No.
It was my wife's first attempt at ceviche, and
Yeah,
it was good.
it was
She did a
good.
good job.
Cheese clamato.
No,
Ooh, questionable.
everything
then.
fresh.
Questionable.
Everything was fresh.
What do you mean? How many? Everything was. She made her own clamato, her own tomato juice.
Well, she just minced them up a little bit in there.
She just.
I never thought about it with clamato. I don't know. When I had them in Mexico, they've never been like that with clamato.
Yeah. Hold.
Actually, the last time I had it in Mexico, I have to give a disclaimer on that one. We all got sick, and it was made in a cooler. And I'm like, how many days has that been simmering in that cooler? Just off some guy, like we were in Rocky Point, just coming back through town, and it was some guy on the side of the road.
You gotta watch out.
We should have paid more attention to that, I guess. But like,
Did you?
I don't think I got
fucking put ketchup in your
No.
ceviche. Okay, that's all that matters.
No,
If you're putting ketchup.
I don't put ketchup on my fries anymore. Even
Really?
Yeah.
What do you use? Chipotle sauce?
like hot sauce, you know?
Just regular shit?
Yeah.
Dude, why didn't you
Frank's
come and
Red Hot
partake
or
in
mayo
the
or-
hot wing challenge I did?
Why didn't I?
Because
had a
you
reason.
want to punish your asshole?
No, I'm not afraid of that shit.
Oh, yeah? You like to punish your asshole, huh?
Speaking of which,
Hey!
but yeah, no, I don't know. I had some reason I couldn't go. I just couldn't go.
Yeah.
I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go to try it. I wanted to go to watch, and I did watch it. It was good. It
Yeah.
was funny.
Did you make it to the end when my buddy threw up?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I made it past that where I'm like, why is Juan standing here talking right next to the throw up, and why doesn't someone put that on the patio? Like, why is it still sitting right there?
Oh, yeah. I was sitting in that bucket the whole time.
Yeah. And I'm like, no one smells that anymore? Because the wing sauce was probably just killing your nose. It's like, you ruined all your senses.
No, I feel like Ben tied up that because he ended up throwing up. He tied up the bag and then he took care of it.
Not on the show, though. He did that way after then.
No, I don't remember when. I do remember him seeing.
All I remember is after he did it, like, you were standing right next to it for a while. I'm like, why isn't he throwing that away? It's still there. It's so gross.
I was out of it, dude. At that point, like that what fucking sauce was it? It wasn't the bomb. The bomb was pretty bad. Oh, the Magnum 357 fucked me up. I was tingling all the way down the sides of my face, and my fingers were numb, like as if they had fallen asleep. And I couldn't fucking think, dude. And then that's when he decided to throw up. Was right after that, and I was like, I can't think. It was intense. It was a good time.
It looked fun.
I actually ate the leftover wings too, like the next day. Or
I saw you brought some to work or something. You said.
I brought them to work.
And then we were still there. Like,
yeah, they were still there. Like 2 days later.
Sissies, I would have tried it.
No, a couple of guys tried it, and one guy was like fucked up.
Yeah.
Gabby ended up trying it at the end, and she was passed out. If you were on my Snapchat, I took videos of her.
I didn't see that. No.
I took videos of her trying it, and she ended up being like passed out, not passed out, but just laying down like in pain in the hallway, like just
destroying your stomach or what?
it was just hot, like
It's like eating it
mouth
from the
on
inside
fire.
out.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, peppers evolved for us not to find them delicious. In that sense, they became spicy.
We had a buddy in just right, I think we were around college time, and we went to one of the local, like mom and pop Mexican restaurants around here, like late at night, ones that were open till late, right after the clubs closed. And my buddy's in there. We just ran into him, and he's like, got no money. I want a burrito so bad. And so I'm like, dude, drink the red sauce, the whole bottle. The ketchup bottles full of them.
Yeah.
Like, drink that whole thing, and you can have it. I'll buy you a burrito. And he did it. And then same thing, puked. Like, he said for like 2 days, just like shitting fire. Like,
Oh my God.
and then I felt bad. I was like, I should have just bought him a burrito.
You should. Yeah, but you were young, and he was desperate.
Yeah. And he wasn't always the nicest in the world, so he got his comebacks.
Yeah.
His comeuppance. Yeah, we had really, really good times back then. It's crazy getting older and watching everything just slow down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I'm slowing down. That's my hard part. Like, I don't want
No.
to slow down.
Well, especially with the kid, you know,
Yeah.
with the child to look after and make sure that they're trying to, you know, live their best life. It's
I hate
you
that
can't.
term. I hate the best life term.
It's a bad term, but it's fitting.
Me and my wife make fun of it all the time. We're out here living our best life. Everyone's trying to live their best life, stupid. If you're not, you're just miserable shit. We don't hang out with you anyways. But like, it's a silly term. I don't know. Like, we're all trying to do that, I think.
I would imagine so. I would imagine.
And then people are like, you know, we're in a car driving, living our best life. No, you're not. You're driving. You're not in like Peru or hanging out at the Machu Picchu or anything. Like, you're not doing anything cool. You're driving down I-10.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your best life.
Yeah, no.
We do that every day. It's part of commuting. It's just part of getting up.
Though that's part of that quote kind of like leads or embodies my whole idea. Like, you know, people don't care about like their jobs because their jobs are not a career, right? But it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, it's just a job. But if you're investing 8 to 10 hours of your day at this place of employment, like, how do you not take pride in your own work and your own, what you do? Like, my lady right now is not happy with her work and where she's at. But fuck, what time is it right now? And she's on her laptop, like, handling shit and doing the best that she can in that term. So I don't know when it became cool to not care, but it just, to me, it just looks silly on you for wasting your time then at that point. It's like, what are you doing here? Get the fuck out.
Well, it's always cool to not care until you're homeless.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I always said being in a band, like, you practically had to be homeless
Yeah.
in order to make that lifestyle and that thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Maybe not so much for, like, popular DJs. You know, like Steve Aoki. Sure, that guy's never been close to homeless.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
From what I hear, his parents are rich. Like, he just had stuff kind of handed
He just
to him.
nailed it.
And he just was and you know, remember Will from Guitar Center?
Yeah.
Audio. He's the sound guy over at Talking Stick.
Uh-huh.
So I did a corporate event over there in the middle of summer, and it was like, you know, inside the bigger, not in the main stage, but like in the big arena inside, and it's really cool. Especially for like a guy like me who's like not a big name DJ, but I'm like up there with like on this big stage. I got sound and light guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty fun. And he's like, you know, it was cool to see you actually sit there and mix songs. Because Steve Aoki played here a few months ago, and I swear to God, the guy pushed play and danced around. Never pushed another button after that. Didn't DJ anything.
Yeah.
Just danced around. I'm not gonna lie, he made it. He made the mix. But
Well, and are you gonna blame him if people let him get away with that? That's the thing. Because
no.
as humans,
But I do blame the younger generation in the fact that you're, what you think is talent is a bit of a joke
yeah.
to someone my age. Like,
As
you
far
know,
as talent, as far as like, yeah, like executing musically, but talent, there's also talent in making sure that everybody's having fun and enjoying their
so
time.
yeah, he's
there.
an entertainer.
Yeah, that's the key difference. An entertainer versus an actual artist.
Yeah, and as a DJ, that's how I feel. I'm an entertainer there.
Yeah.
I'm here to MC the event, maybe tell a few jokes, make it fun and funny, you know, play cool songs, make sure I do that. Sometimes I'm just a pusher of play. Sometimes I'm mixing.
Yeah.
Rarely do you scratch much at a wedding. You know, I got like 2 or 3 songs I'll scratch on religiously because I know it works there.
Yes.
You know, and for the most part, I got a facade in front of me, so they don't even see me doing it. They think it's just part of the song.
Yeah.
Even though it's not. Like, you know that part's not in there on that Run DMC song, but I'm scratching on it. And then they're just kind of like, oh, and maybe one guy will be like, oh, that's the DJ doing it.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no recognition for that. But I don't care about that. It's for me. You
Yeah,
know,
'cause
that's the one fun part for me. Like, can't wait
Yeah.
for that song now.
And that's your
something.
end goal is to just make the whole event go off.
Yeah.
You know, without a hitch.
You want the couple leaving, hugging you, thinking this was so amazing. My friends say this was the most epic wedding ever. That's how I've tried to make every event. Like, I want them half crying.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was so great. And I've had them crying, think it was so great. So that's the good feeling of it. I've had some big weddings. I've had tiny weddings, 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
I've had weddings where they were Chinese, and most of their family, they were kind of more Americanized, but their family was from China. And there was like, so a dance floor. And they're like, oh, no, no. And I'm like, no, like the dance floor, like, what do you want to hear? And they're like, no. Just keep playing what we said to play.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but no one's going to dance? And they're like, no, they don't dance. And I was like, well, it's kind of my job to make that happen, like, and try.
Yeah.
And so the one couple in particular I always think of, and they were like, we'll try. And so we started off, and they were like, just, try with like a line dance. So I tried with Cupid Shuffle or whatever, Cha-Cha Slide, one of them too. And we go out there, we start to do it, me, him, and her. And the crowd's looking at us like we are insane.
Yeah.
And they just stopped like halfway through. He's like, nope, done. And he's like, go back to just light background music.
Oh, shit.
Play more Teresa Tang, just Chinese operatic type music. And I was like, okay, that's how you guys get down.
They were just real reserved.
Very stoic, just stoic culture. It's just their culture. That's part of the, like we were talking about earlier, like the culture part of it's really fun to learn and see, I thought Cubans had won weddings. They're wild crowd, like great. Even the old people are just crazy, good dancers. It's just their culture to do it.
Yeah.
And then I ran into some Canadians
Uh-huh.
and from northern Canada. And right at the beginning of wedding season this year, so it was right in February when it got really nice. Remember how nice our February was this year? And so they had come from like Mississauga, like way up north in Canada. -1 was the best weather they had in months. So they thought this was a tropical paradise, and they drank all the alcohol.
Yeah.
Like no one's ever done that at any of my venues. Drank everything. They drank every bit of liquor, every bit of wine. I think we were down to like a bottle of champagne before they all got cut off. 3 people threw up on the dance floor. Like a guy and a girl got caught in the bathroom getting it on. They did not come together. So that caused drama between them and the person they did come with. That is the last time I actually got hit on. Because that same girl later on came up and asked me if I could finish her off for money. And I was like,
For money?
No, I'm married. Like, no, go away. She started crying. She's like, is it because I'm ugly? And I was like, no, it's because I'm married and gross. Like, I don't want to be the second one today. Like, I'm married first. And no, I'm not touching you. And she's like, I'll find someone. I was like, yes, you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably will.
Oh, yeah. It's a numbers game.
Take that money and buy some self-respect instead. Sad of you. Yeah. So Canadians win weddings. Turns out.
Really?
So far. We'll see. That could change again, but Cubans were just like awesome. They were just such a great fun. Like, I love the Latin crowds because they get down.
Yeah.
Black crowds usually just get down.
Mm-hmm.
White crowds hit and miss. Like Middle Eastern crowds, they get down. It's just different music.
Yeah.
Habibi, but they're still getting down. Like,
yes.
You'll have a packed ass dance floor. So that's what I live for as a DJ, is the packed part of the dance floor. Like,
yeah, and Michael Jackson always makes that happen, huh?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
No.
No. Are you just saying that because like socially or?
No, not even that, because I will still play his stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I can separate the man from what he might have done. No one can prove that. R. Kelly's a different story. People are starting to say no to R. Kelly. Ooh. And even still, like, R. Kelly didn't have nearly the amount of hits as Michael Jackson did. Mm-hmm. And I can still separate. He had, I would say, about 3 really good songs that are good for dancing.
You have to. And people, it's hard, and I get it, but you have to separate the artist from the actual person.
The problem with R. Kelly is I can't separate the artist from the Dave Chappelle version of the artist. And so I can't not play that song. Yeah, drip, drip, drip.
You made my life so complete when I turn your face into a toilet seat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Dude, every time I play it now, that's all I'm singing in the back of my head.
Yeah.
And people like probably look at me like, why is he smiling so hard? That's all I can think of, man. Thanks, Dave Chappelle. You didn't ruin the song. You just made it better for me. So like people are like, there was a big thing on Facebook for the DJs lately about that. Like, people are asking us not to play him anymore. No one's ever asked me not to play him. I've only had one couple probably say, don't play R. Kelly, Mm-hmm. But he's been proven also to be a bad person, but I can separate the artist from their
From the
personal life.
Yeah.
So the songs will stand the test of time. What he did is a horrible thing, and
Of course.
hopefully he's punished for it. If Michael Jackson did those things, we'll never know. Never got convicted, and he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
But he had way more hits. It's hard to not play him.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Way more hits, and I think the songs themselves, like his whole catalog, had a greater impact.
Yeah. What song is better than Thriller? As an overall, like, it's long. The beat is amazing. Like, it makes you want to dance immediately when you start hearing the beat. As soon as you hear the begin, like, bow, bow.
Yeah.
And you're already, like, waiting for that. Beat it same way. You as soon as you hear that, your head starts to bob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can't not dance to it. Usher, yeah, is one of those songs.
It is.
And your head starts to bob.
Still.
Yep.
Still.
So there's lots of songs like that. Fucking Run DMC, It's Tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I play
White
that.
Girls.
Everybody. Like the second all they have to hear is.
No, because of the movie White Girls.
Oh, maybe, but I've never even seen that. I mean, I grew up with that music. I watched the first day of MTV. I was able to we had cable. I was able to watch the very first day of MTV when it first came on
Video
air.
Killed the Radio star.
Mhm. So I was able to sit there and watch that stuff. And I was a little kid. I was probably 6 years old. But I've always been into music like that. Like my dad was a guitar player. He was very good. He's still a very good guitar player.
So he's a mechanical engineer and a guitar player?
No, he's a chemist and a
chemist.
geologist.
That's a little bit different though, because
He's
you would
mostly
think
a geologist, but he ran an environmental chemistry company for a long time doing testing for so if you build a house, he would test the soils to make sure wasn't a gas station here before and it's going to screw you guys up, or we tested soil, water, and vapor. So I worked for that company for a little while. That was probably the second longest job I've ever had, because my dad ran a good company. I don't even feel like I was biased because it was my dad. Like, everybody that worked for him liked it. They liked him. I don't think they were lying to me. So it was a pretty fun time working there.
I just find that interesting because you would think of somebody that's like in that field, like they're super one frame of mind, whereas playing music is more along the lines of being a creative individual. So a lot of times they don't mesh. So that's interesting to me to find out that he was that.
So what I found, especially with people, like my dad likes a lot of jammy type bands. Not exactly jam bands, and he's not really a hippie because he's not like a pot smoker or anything like that. I don't know if he used to be, maybe when he was young. We haven't really talked about that too much, but I don't think so. If he did, he maybe dabbled. Mm-hmm. He didn't do it all the time. I smoked it a lot. I got a medical card still. That won't stop. But I think I see people like that with that kind of a brain, especially like my buddies in some other jam bands. They're almost all engineers. Like, that kind of a brain can handle that long jam. We were talking about that earlier. Like, they can handle the length of a 25-minute solo because they can follow the flow of it, just like following the flow of a diagnostic thing and watching a whole computer be built. And I got a friend he's crazy, and he's 60-something years old, and he's top security clearance in the country. Like, he is up there. I think he works for Honeywell or something like that. He's he's a rocket scientist. Yeah. And then when you see him at a festival, just absorbing anything he can get in his mouth. Oh, what happened to this guy? I don't want to say his name because I don't want to incriminate him, but we went on a tour with his band, and we ended up at the High Sierra Festival up in Northern California. And at one point I ran into him later on, and I'm like, "What are you on?" And he's like, "All of it. I took all of it." I was just like, "Oh my God, dude."
And everything bagel.
Yeah. And I was like, that was the end of the tour. So I was already kind of done, like drinking. Like the first 2 nights, we got that out of our system. I felt like. So, and I had stopped already by that point doing anything else. So I got to that point of the thing, and I probably just smoked a joint or two, and had a couple beers. And he's just on every drug possible. Like, what the hell did you do, man? And he's a disaster. He's just laughing, like drooling. He looked at it like he was in bliss.
Yeah.
But like, man, you're 60 something years old. How did you get top security clearance, and how do you keep it? You know, I got thrown out of the military. Like,
that's the secret.
I guess I should have taken more stuff.
You got to expand the mind, which is something I'm hoping to, I'm aiming to do, you know, sooner rather than later. Expand the mind with some, you know, help.
What help?
You know, LSD.
You've never
mushrooms.
done that?
I did, I think, half or a quarter. Like a few, almost a year ago now, maybe.
A half or a quarter
of LSD.
Just a tab?
Yeah, a little tab.
You didn't do it then.
Nothing. No, it was enough to like
LSD.
see like the colors pop and like I was feeling good, but it wasn't like an actual trip necessarily. But I want to do that. I kind of want to do it like guided.
No,
you know?
It's if you're gonna do that your first time, you should have someone that knows what they're doing to help you.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's you don't really need the help that much. It's more just like to stop you from hyper focusing on something, because that's what'll happen. Like you'll decide to look inside your washing machine, and then all of a sudden your head's in there, and you're just like, whoa! Like you can't help it. You can't stop looking in there, and someone will be like, "Hey, man," and you'll have to pop out of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Go do this now," and you have to just. It's an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like that stuff.
and I'm a big
bit.
proponent of, you know, being, you know, thinking about that. Like when a lot of people tried it, they might have been too young and weren't ready for that experience.
I think I tried it when I was like 16, my first time.
Yeah. I feel like that's too young, and you're just doing it just to get high or just to get that thing instead of
it's not going to change the experience you're going to have that first time though. Like,
yeah,
I would actually think it would be a little more scary now with children and things like you might be thinking about that stuff too much. Whereas back then, I mean, my only fear was that I wouldn't make it to wrestling practice. So, or I didn't go to school. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, for a day. I did a lot of that. And then I've tried, like, mushrooms was fun.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do any of that anymore. I might, if I was in the right setting, I might try mushrooms again. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I really would. I don't know. Maybe if I was at like a 3-day music festival and just no responsibilities, but I'll never, like I'm saying now, like now that I have a child,
well, yeah,
I'll always know that I have that responsibility in the back of my head.
Yeah. The drugs or the trip in itself lasts, you know, a handful of hours. So that's one of the issues on it. Like where you can have one drink and be fine.
You can
have
say
two
a handful
drinks
of hours, but you have so much fun sometimes, then all of a sudden you take more.
Dude.
And then those handful of hours becomes like overnight, all day. Like
my coworker told me a story of when he took mushrooms. I guess the VCR died at that same time, so that the time never changed.
Oh yeah.
So he's fucking high as fuck, and he's looking at this VCR, and the time has been fucking like 12:03.
Oh yeah.
For fucking like 30 minutes, and he's like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, we were up at my friend's cabin, and we made mushroom tea, and we did the same. We were outside, and it was kind of cold, but we were doing the same thing, kind of like acting like rednecks, but like the thermometer, and we were like, "Looks like it's broken. Shit ain't moving," and it was just the same temperature. And so, like, maybe it runs on satellite. And we just come in, like, we did this whole skit. It went on for like half an hour. Everyone's dying laughing. And then finally, this one friend of ours comes out, and he's like, well, let me videotape it. Do it over. I'm like, we can't recreate that, Steve.
Yeah.
Like, where were you?
Yeah.
Like, well, we were really funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everyone was just dying. Because it went on forever.
Dude, that's how I felt.
It's going to take about 4 weeks to get the parts.
Yeah.
We just were going on for a long time. Like, we were trying to fix this stupid thermometer. and it was just the same temperature.
That's how I that's hilarious. Dude. That's how I felt about the podcast I told you with my buddy JD, where it was just so good. Like we started out, talking shit about Trump, and then moving into like
I almost wore my impeach shirt.
this other shit, and then I had a slip up where I said Aryan flu instead of avian flu, and then there was that, and then I started beatboxing, he started freestyling like about mayonnaise because we were talking about like writing jingles and how he would never do that, but then I just put him on the spot and started beatboxing, and he started writing a jingle about mayonnaise,
And then now all of a sudden he could do that.
yeah, exactly, and then after we're done recording, I played back and realized that there was like a fucking issue with it. And it's like, fuck. And in my mind, I'm like, let's link up again. Let's set up. Let's podcast again. But we'll never recreate that.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
You can't.
Yeah, that's where they screwed up with the mushroom thing. Like,
yeah.
Just should have started recording the second we started talking.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again. I don't even remember I'm on mushrooms, dude. I can't remember what happened. We're on a new thing now. Don't worry about it. We're gonna go tontoing through the Tonto forest. I remember that night. He's tontoing through the forest.
Tonto,
which was really just like skipping arm in arm like idiots, like through the forest.
No,
and pretty much like a.
Were you guys up north?
Cabin resident. Yeah, it was like up in.
Yeah, Prescott or Strawberry.
I think we were at right by there, a little further east. What's that other place called? Anyways, my buddy had a cabin up there for a while, and it was a lot of fun. And then we found his dad's porn, which was pretty fun. And he got all pissed. My dad, don't watch that. Why not? It's here.
Why not?
He had an awesome pinball machine that we'd play for hours, like the Jungle Queen, I think it was called, from the 70s.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty fun, especially if you were on something psychedelic. I remember my friends going tontoing at one point, and I stayed home and watched Class of Nukem High. I don't know if you've probably never seen that. It's an old, probably early 80s movie, maybe mid 80s. Just a weird, strange movie anyways. And then I was on mushrooms. And then halfway through, they were gone for a long time. And I was like, what is that sound outside? And I go outside, and my buddy Joey's just like out there in his underwear shooting beer cans in the front yard with a BB gun or something. Like, what are you doing? It's like 26 degrees outside. Get your ass inside.
Yeah.
And then I go back inside, watching the movie again, and I was dead certain that my friends were hiding behind the wood burning stove, which there was probably that much space behind there. But from my perspective, I was like, someone's back there, and they're trying to get me. So it's like freaking out. Then all of a sudden, they just come barging through the door, and they're just laughing, telling me this story about how they got stuck in a ditch, like they bottomed out their car so that they were stuck like bumper to bumper, and some old guy that was delivering newspapers came and pulled them out.
Jesus.
Like, yeah, I got lots of good stories.
Yeah. I'll have to hear some of them sometime soon, man. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, if you want to do it again, I'm down. This is fun.
Yeah, this is great. Fun. It was great to talk to you.
I was nervous when it started, and it's like, basically, we just sit here and talk. So
you just sit here and bullshit, man. Yeah, it's
nothing
fun
different than we would have done if we went to a bar.
Exactly. And, hopefully some people find some information in it. Some people find it funny, and we'll go from there. But I tell people in the sense, I'm like, this is a little selfish. I feel a little selfish in doing these because it's in essence for myself, but because I find so much value in speaking to so many different people that I can, put it down, record it, and, share that with other people. And hopefully it impacts them, and, they analyze their life a little bit differently, and maybe they become better because of it. That's the end goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like it. I think you're good at it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Like I was the one, especially with your friend that's a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he's really good at asking questions. Like he's actually an interviewer. That's why I was kind of like, weird. Man, I'm getting interviewed tonight. It feels weird.
Yeah. It can throw people on
the spot. But it didn't feel like that once we were doing it. Like it just felt like when we were just chatting.
Yeah, so. And I reached out to people. I'm like, hey, I would like to have you on the podcast. And like, well, what's it about? And I'm like, you. Like, that's it. Like, let's just talk about, what has made you become who you are. And that's it.
Yeah, that's why I was before I left, I'm getting reprimanded. Like, you better not talk about this. I was just like, I don't know what we're going to talk about at all. I have no clue if he has questions prepared or what. Like,
yeah,
I feel like most of the ones I've seen, he just talks to people.
Yeah, it's it.
So just chatting with his friends.
It's exactly what it is. I want to make people as comfortable as possible and let them let loose and talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Before this, I had never really even been into podcasts. So like since you said that, I was just like, as soon as you said that, I was like watching Joe Rogan, watching a couple other ones. I've been watching, well, Fantasy Footballers. I watched that because of Fantasy Football.
Yeah, of
and
course.
their local Arizona group. And then I started watching yours because I'm like, I got to kind of see what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, this is fun. This is cool. Like I don't know why I never got into them.
Yeah, it took me a while too. Like I saw a bunch of those podcasts for a minute, and then I finally, jumped on them. And to me, it's all about the guests. I learned so much. Like I watch Rogan's podcast religiously, but it's not necessarily for just him. It's who he has on. So that's kind of like where I'm like, let me get interesting people that have like these crazy backgrounds and are doing these entrepreneurial stuff or just something like that can shed some light on a different angle that we haven't seen.
And I was thinking about that for you, even like 3 people I can think of just from our past that would be interesting people for you to interview would be Mauricio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lobo.
Darren.
Yeah. Oh, I've been thinking about getting Darren on for sure.
Just because of his experiences lately.
Yeah.
And then Nick Conti would be kind of interesting just due to what his job is. Like that's a fun ass job.
Yeah, whether he can disclose information on that or not, for sure.
Well,
Darren,
I'm sure he could at least do it lightly. He could just say that place or whatever. But
yeah, Darren has been a good one because I've been thinking about like all these different angles on just getting people involved in something to better themselves. But I've been thinking about getting Darren on like, I have this idea for a campaign about, giving up bad habits or like your old you and whatnot. And it's called Chalk It Up or Lined in Chalk. I was listening to Gangster's Paradise by, Coolio. And that kind of gave me the idea where he's like, he has that line where it's like, you'll be lined in chalk. And I was just like, yeah, lined in chalk. Like you're dead, you're done. And then I was just thinking about like, your old habits, like you've kind of cut back on your drinking, like that's something that could be lined in chalk. That's the old you.
I think at one point when we were working together, I was like 242 pounds.
No.
Yeah, I got fat. Like a little bowling ball.
Yeah.
Like no one at 5'7" should be 242 pounds unless you're a running back in the NFL. And even then, at 5'7", you should probably be weighing more like 225 and just be a little rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
242.
You could have just rolled me down the street.
Jesus. I was 250 and I'm 6 foot. So yeah, I felt even like that was huge.
Yeah. And I remember you being about there too. Like we both kind of got chubby there.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you don't make much money, so you eat like crap.
Hey, you eat like crap and you get comfortable.
Food is not good for you.
Well, I wasn't. I was eating like crap for sure because I do attribute at least 80 to 85% of my weight loss to diet. So yeah, there is that for sure. And people will say like, oh, that's expensive or eating good is expensive. But it's like, if you're going to invest in something, invest in yourself,
in your body,
and invest in your health. Yeah.
And I still have my nights where I'm bad. I drink, some stuff. But like,
well, you have to.
I'm trying. My biggest thing is I need to quit smoking cigarettes. I know I need to do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it. I bought one of those pens, the vapor pens.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that because I don't really know if that's much better. It's not regulated very well.
We don't know yet.
But mine won't work. It just keeps leaking. The battery breaks. I've spent $160 on this stupid thing, not even including the juice for it, and it still won't work for me right. And everyone else I know is just like, oh, no, mine works fine. Just giant puff of cloud of coming out. And I'm like, I can't make mine do anything. Just battery high. I'm like, what? It won't work. So I've tried to make that switch. It's just, I think I have to just throw that one away and chalk that up as a loss and get a new one.
Yeah, you can
one
do
that
that
works
for sure.
So I'm trying to make that happen. I've been going to the gym. I've been working out. I got a personal trainer at EOS Fitness.
So nice. Oh, EOS. There's one on the corner here. You like them? They been doing good?
I mean, it's cheap.
Yeah.
The personal trainer's pretty. I've had 2 different ones now. The new guy I like better already.
Yeah.
The other guy was cool. Nothing wrong with him. He just did different things. This new guy's kind of more like up my alley more. He's just like, why weren't you doing this? And you were only doing rows? And I'm like, yeah, I was kind of wondering that too. Like, it was good. I was getting stronger from it, but I'm trying to rehab my shoulder. 'Cause I had a rotator cuff surgery in last November.
Oh, do yoga.
And so yoga is a good idea. I saw the thing, something you put on there the other day about phase ones or something, some guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That guy, he does power yoga, but just yoga in general. I had the epiphany.
Well, I figured I'll just try that, and if there's something I can't do, I just skip that part.
Yeah, well,
do an easier
there's
version of it.
advanced movements and there's whatnot, but like I've been going to physical therapy for my ankles, and
Same
today,
place I went. Looks like.
yeah, oh yeah, that's right. You commented on that, yeah, that you went there. So like today, I told her I was like, yo, I think I'm good. Like I gained enough knowledge. Like I can take this from here, and I'm just like looking around and I'm like, all these people in here are just doing yoga moves and positions and holds. Like if you just do yoga, it's not going to guarantee that you're not going to get hurt or you're not going to need physical therapy, but it just makes your chances of needing that less and your chances of recovery better.
Yeah.
So yoga is just great, man.
Most of mine was not yoga based, was more towards the end. It was like just, sitting there doing push up, put your arm out, push up, put your arm out, things like that. But most of it was more resistance band training, trying to re-strengthen that area.
Yes.
So that was most of mine. And I bought all those bands. So I do that stuff at home. I do my stretches at home. And then now I'm going to the gym to try to get just stronger.
Yeah, you got to push weight around.
I would love to get back into jiu-jitsu. I really want to get back into jiu-jitsu. And I even today after doing this, he gave me this new exercise and it was just a push thing. And immediately when I started to do it, I'm like, it was only 30 pounds. And I used to be strong. So I'm just like, I feel like a sissy, but I'm like, I started doing it. I'm like, I can't. We got to drop it to 20.
Yeah.
Like immediately, as soon as it wasn't two arms doing it, I could feel it. And I was like, that's not good for that arm right now.
Yeah.
So I'm still not there yet. And I'm glad I did not start because they called me again the other day, the gym I like to go to, I want to go to. And they were like, "Were you ready to start?" I'm like, not yet. Sorry. I don't feel like it. And then today I was like, proved I was not ready. Like, I'm glad because I don't want to get arm barred and break it right away again.
No. Well, that's all I'm scared of. I'm scared about.
And I didn't want to lose more weight because at my weight, I'm going to be fighting some big dudes.
Exactly that. And like I've been wanting to do, to jump on jiu-jitsu because I have a few buddies. Obviously, we know Billy. And then my other buddy Ed does it. And my other buddy Ben, I think, just started doing it. So he's been trying to get me into it. But like I'm scared like they're going to start attacking my ankles. But as soon as they start attacking my ankles, I'm going to tap. Like I'm not
dude.
risking
We're
it.
old enough. Like we're not trying to get in a ring. We're not trying to get in the cage.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to learn those types of moves. Like I want to know it just enough to defend myself if I needed it. I'm not out there trying to start fights. I'm not out there, like I don't care about that anymore. So even when I was in fights, I never really started one. I always just finished one.
Yeah.
Like, people would screw with someone of my friends usually, and I'd end up having to finish the fight. Or my friends would start the fight.
Then you'd have to, because they knew you were there. So they're like, I can start it. Damien can finish it.
Yeah, I got one buddy especially. We go to Scottsdale all the time, and he always try to pick a fight with like 5 big dudes. And I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? Well, you're here. I'm like, I'm not fighting those guys.
Yeah.
Like, there's 5 of them.
No.
And 2 of those guys could probably beat me up at the same time. Like I know my limits. I'm a decent enough fighter, but I'm not gonna beat up 5 guys at once.
Oh no.
And especially at their size. Are you crazy? So like if this starts, I'm leaving and you're fighting. He would do it when we were driving even. Just back from Scottsdale. Like, screw you. Some guys, 5 dudes in a big old pickup truck just screaming at him like in my stupid Chevy Cavalier, like, oh my God, stop.
He's got to test himself.
He was trying to test me.
Oh, all right, dude. Well, I got to call it, man. It's been good talking to you. We got to do this again ASAP.
Yeah, I could tell you every story from the military and from every night at boot camp and make it fun.
Yeah. We'll have to do it again sometime soon. If someone is interested in seeing your work or possibly booking you for a party or a wedding or something like that, where should they go?
www.beluvidentertainment.com. Beloved is spelled weird, though. It's Beluvid.
Okay.
Beloved.
I like it. Yeah.
There's another guy on the East Coast that had the same type of name, and I was just like, I don't want to people think I'm him.
Yeah,
You know, there's other DJ Damiens out there, so I can't be them.
that's true.
So I tried that, and there's already another guy that gets my emails, and he's pissed. So great. I love it when he contacts me, and he's like, "Stop sending my your shit. It's not me. It's my bride and grooms, and they don't know better. They forgot to put my number at the end.
Yeah.
So whatever. Like, well, if they do it again, I'm gonna post it on Facebook.
Okay.
You know,
More publicity.
way to advertise their wedding.
Yeah.
It's not gonna hurt anyone. So yeah, there. Mostly I work for a specific venue, and I don't really want to name drop them because sometimes we switch them off. But
Yeah.
yeah, belovedentertainment.com.
Perfect.
DJ Damien, DJ Beloved.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed this latest episode. And book DJ Damien for your next wedding. Oh,
Do you want your wedding to be awesome?
yeah.
Then you need me.
All right. All right. Peace. Later.